One of the top questions I get from clients is, what are the best schools in Cleveland, Ohio? And in this video, I'm going to do my best to answer that. Now, I've looked at lots of different websites, read reviews of parents, reviews from the students, reviews about placements, AP, honors, international baccalaureate, reviews about extracurricular activities, diversity, social and economic, the whole nine yards, and nailed down really what I think are the top 5 public schools. There's actually a little bit more than 5 because the 2 main resources I use is USNWR reports and niche.com. So while there was some overlap, there was also some additional ones. So you're going to get a little bit more than 5. You'll also hear some peppering in of my own thoughts based on some other websites that I looked at. Let's get into the ranking system. I've got my coffee, of course, grab your coffee, and let's get into the rankings. Hey, it's Joel Gableman with Gableman Group and Real Brokerage. If this is your first time to living in Northeast Ohio, welcome. We specialize in helping families get more space. Whether you have more kids, maybe your kids are getting older, or mom and dad or the in-laws are coming to live with you and you need more room, give us a call, text, email. We help people that are looking for more space here in Cleveland, people that are moving from outside of Cleveland, outside of the state, and occasionally we get calls internationally. So we love helping people. Give us a call, see if we can help you out also. Number 1 should not come as any surprise for people that have been either living here or have been researching Northeast Ohio. That is Solon Schools, number 1. Number 1 on US News and World Reports, and number 1 on niche.com. So some details on Solon. It's actually ranked number 6 in the entire state of Ohio. That's how well regarded and highly ranked Solon is. It's got number 1 out of 607 schools for best places to teach, number 1 out of 607 schools of best school districts, number 5 out of 607 schools of best teachers in Ohio. About an 18-to-1 student-to-teacher ratio in January of this year, because we're not at the end of February yet. Median home prices are around $390,000. Pros of reviews that I read from students and parents is the diversity of programs, tons of extracurricular activities. Cons, which you can imagine being number 1, is they put a fair amount of emphasis. It's very competitive on standardized testing. So some of the parents or some of the students said that there is a very strong focus on maintaining that number 1 ranking, which goes without saying. Now, I also read that the school is working on being more sensitive to all student needs instead of just that kind of A-type mentality of win or die. So they're trying to be softer, but listen, when you're king of the hill, it is understandable that you want to maintain that number 1 ranking. Number 2 is Hudson Schools. Hudson, another fantastic district. It was actually number 16 in US News and World Reports, 16-to-1 student-to-teacher ratio. Median home price was $490,000 in a affluent area. Pros from students is that it's a great school, great teachers, great activities. Of course, some cons. There was reported normal complaints of non-real world teachings, cliques, but I think that's fairly common with any high school. Cliques, and especially in affluent areas, maybe not real world experience. Number 3, Chagrin Falls. Number 3 on niche, and number 2 in US News and World Reports. 15-to-1 student-teacher ratio. Median home price January 2023 was $445,000 to $450,000. Pros, tons of extracurricular activities. Of course, cons, economic and racial diversity is lacking. Again, a lot of these more affluent areas might have excellent schools. It's just the nature. I would not expect, if an area does not have a tremendous amount of economic or racial or religious diversity, to have that diversity represented in the schools. Number 4, Beachwood. Number 4 on niche. Number 12 in US News and World Reports. A very popular area. Median home value $450,000. Pros, diversity. There is a wide diversity over in Beachwood. Cons, didn't really see a whole lot of cons. I'm sure if you dig hard enough, you'll see some negatives. Maybe not as diverse as some areas, but certainly compared with some of the other schools we've talked about, Beachwood has a tremendous amount of racial as well as economic diversity. Number 5 on niche, and number 8 for US News and World Report is Orange Schools. Median home value was around $455,000, $460,000. 14 to 1 student teacher ratio. Pros, lots and lots of activities. They have CAD, AP courses, honors, woodworking, STEM lab. Cons, some diversity. Surprise, surprise. Rocky River was number 6 on niche. The reason why I bring it up is it was number 3 on US News and World Reports. I can't do, some people do 3 like this. It's very hard for me to grab my pinky. I don't know how people do it. I do 3. I saw Quentin Tarantino's film where I think this is the English and this is the German, but regardless. If you can pinch your finger and do 3, more power to you. I can do it with this hand, but not the other hand. Anyway, I digress. So, Rocky River was number 3 for U.S. News and World Report's 16 to 1 student-teacher ratio. Median home value around $275,000. Pros, lots and lots of activities, extracurricular events, sports, and cons, you guessed it, diversity. One to also leave Bay Village. Bay Village was number 5 for U.S. News and World Report's West Side area. Great, great area. It was number 8 for niche.com. 21 to 1 student-teacher ratio. Median home price around $320,000. Pros, great teachers. Cons, I feel like a broken record. Lack of diversity. Finally, last but not least, is Brecksville. Now, Brecksville was number 9 on niche. But the reason why I bring it up is Brecksville was the 4th best in Cleveland area of public schools on U.S. News and World Reports. That's Brecksville. Southern, a little bit south of Cleveland. Brecksville has got a 19 to 1 student-teacher ratio. It has pros. CCP is College Credit Plus. Those are classes where you can earn college credits. AP and honors teachers are excellent. Cons of Brecksville, not very diverse. And some reported that outside of AP and honors, some of the reviews I read from students, is that outside of the AP honors classes, that some of the teachers in the mainstream courses just weren't as good. Those are some of the feedback. And again, I'll leave the links in the description to niche.com, US News and World Reports, as well as some of the other sites that I referenced. So quick recap for niche.com. The top 5 are Solon, Hudson, Chagrin Falls, Beachwood, Orange are the top 5 on niche. And US News and World Reports, top 5, you have Solon, Chagrin Falls, Rocky River, Brecksville, and Bay Village. Those are the top 5 for niche.com, and also the top 5 for US News and Reports. Some honorable mentions I'm going to throw in. Shaker Heights, number 20, US News and World Reports, number 10 on niche. Aurora, number 7 ranked on niche. Kenston, number 6 on US News World Reports, number 14 on niche. John Hay, number 7 US News World Reports, that's City of Cleveland. Avon, number 9 US News World Reports, number 13 on niche. And Avon Lake, number 11 US News World Report, number 15 on niche. Excellent, excellent schools. Again, if I missed something, if there's a school that I left out, or there's a specific emphasis on a specific school that you say, hey, Joel, you forgot to mention that such and such school might not be as high ranked, but they've got a phenomenal fill in the blank, extracurricular or sports, let me know in the comments. Let me know what your thoughts are. Moving forward, the next videos will focus on eventually private schools, best private schools in Northeast Ohio. And again, if you have a situation where you're looking for something specific, maybe you're looking for a religious school, or maybe you're looking for something that's got excellent sports, a specific something with the STEM program, and you have additional questions, reach out. We get calls all the time. Love helping you guys, putting you in the right direction. And that's it. So like, subscribe, and as a bonus, speaking of school, one of the things that I make for my kiddos to get out of the house, I'm a huge cook and a huge foodie. I am going to share with you guys one of my favorite recipes for a fast meal. My kids want it for breakfast, they want it for lunch, sometimes they want it for dinner. Little cheat, I sometimes throw bacon in there, but I hope you guys like this quick, easy recipe. It takes about 2 minutes to make. And let me know if you use it and like it, and I'll see you guys in the next video. So definitely want a hot pan on this. This is just a simple egg sandwich quesadilla, really. If you want to splurge and get some Mexican chili spice, you certainly can, although not required, but it's essentially salted tortilla, eggs, and cheese. Now, I wanted the pan a little hotter, but you start out with a hot pan, throw the butter in. I need to improvise to get it to melt a little bit. But once it's melting and nice and hot, crack an egg. If you need 2 hands, knock yourself out. Pro tip,
Make sure you crack the egg on a flat surface so you don't get shells in the egg, and then season. And this is how easy it is. Tortilla goes on top, bada boom, bada bing, and that's it. If you want a little, like I said, a little fancy splurge, you could take the outside edge. So when you bite into it, it hits your tongue first of some chili flakes or whatever you want. And if you're not brave to flip it, don't flip it. Use a spatula. This is nonstick, so don't use metal on metal. Use rubber, silicone, something like that. And then you throw the cheese on. Cheese, let this sit here for a little bit. Total time is, 30 seconds, 45 seconds. And then I put a cutting board, rotate my hand. This flips over. You say, well, Joel, the cheese isn't melted. I'm going to show you a tip to get the cheese to melt. You just take it super hot and smash it down. And it gets nice and toasted. Cheese gets melty. Of course, I need the money shot like all the TV shows. I cut it and take a bite. This was for my wife, Ash. She was not too happy that I was taking a bite of her and cheese sandwich, but it is very good. You could certainly put mushrooms, vegetables, onions, bacon, sausage, whatever you want. Very tasty.